This story was something. It happened. It was probably about 8 years ago now, and it was more. I was 21 at the time, and I just finished reading a book that was telling the story of a guy called Paul Hartunian who sold the Brooklyn Bridge in the States, and he came out with the press release. I sold the Brooklyn. What is it? Man sells Brooklyn Bridge for $9.95. And what had actually happened was he saw he was watching TV, and he saw that they were doing some renovations on the Brooklyn Bridge, and they were interviewing the removalists and asking them, this is all exciting. What are you going to do with the leftover wood and these types of things? And as he was watching this, it was like fireworks went off in his mind, and he thought, here's an opportunity that I can seize and grab. So he actually noticed there was a phone number on the side of one of the trucks for the removalists, and he called it up and he asked them, what are you going to do with this wood? And they said, oh, nothing now, we're just going to throw it on the scrap heap. So he said, well, can you deliver it to me for $500? So he ended up paying for what they were just going to throw away. So they were happy to do it. And as they delivered it to him, he wrote that press release that I talked about. New Jersey man sells Brooklyn Bridge for $9.95. And what he ended up doing was getting all of the pieces of wood that was used in the renovation, cutting it up into little pieces, sticking it to a certificate, sent the press release out, and then just got mobbed by the media. The media absolutely loved the story. And he ended up making, millions of dollars, and the media wouldn't leave him alone for months. And he's gone on and done some other really cool stuff after that. So I just read this story, and I was driving past the MCG, and they were doing some renovations on the MCG, on the Ponsford stand. So I was 21 at the time, and I thought, oh, here's an opportunity. This sounds familiar. So I jumped on the phone, called up the wreckers, and not being the sharpest tack in the box, I was thinking I'd sell bricks. And my plan was to mail out bricks so you could own a brick from the MCG. And I was chatting to the wrecker, and he said, oh, do you know they've actually got pieces of wood and carpet and things like that? And I said, no. And he said, well, go call Will and the wreckers, and you can pick up all that, and maybe that might be more of what you're after. Because I gave him a little bit of an idea of what it was that I wanted to do. And I went to Will and the wreckers, and then went there with my dad's van and loaded it up with bits of wood and carpet and all that type of stuff. Couldn't take all of the carpet because it wouldn't all fit in the car. So I said to the guy, look, I'm going to come back tomorrow and purchase the rest of this wood and carpet. And he said, yeah, no worries, cool. So I went home that night and took everything home. And I'm, as you could imagine, when I was 21 at the time, I'm sitting there and counting my millions already. And everybody does it. When you buy one of those new courses, you sit there and you calculate how much money you're going to make and how awesome life's going to be. And so I was doing this calculation, and then the next day I went back to the wreckers and I was going to purchase the remaining part of the carpet. And I walked in, and he said, oh, look, someone's come in just the other day and purchased all of the wood and the carpet that was left. And I went, you're kidding. And then he said, oh, but it's okay. He said that he was going to use it to line his pool room floor in. So I thought, okay, lucky, that's all fine. Now, it just so happened at that point in time, I got everything ready. I had all my wood and my carpet, everything ready. And I'd written up my press release, and I'd booked in to go see a course. Just like you guys, I started going to courses very early on, very high-priced seminar on the Gold Coast. It was a Brad Sugars event. It was Billionaire in Training. It's like a $5,000 event, so I wasn't going to miss it. And it was all about buying, building, and selling businesses. So I went up to do that particular course, and when I was up there, I started getting phone calls from some friends. I told them what it was that I had planned to do, and I got some phone calls, and they said, Dave, did you give the wood or any of the carpet to anyone else? And I said, no, what are you talking about? And they said, there's another 21-year-old, same age as you, in Melbourne, selling pieces of the MCG. And I remember at the time, you can probably feel it now, like I was physically gutted. I almost felt sick. And that person who ended up doing that, for obvious reasons, became my arch nemesis. They were my rival. And I didn't know what I had to do, but I went to this course anyway. And at the end of any course, you feel 6 feet tall and bulletproof. So I felt really good on the way back, and I thought, yeah, I'm not going to let this get me down. I sort of got over it, and I got back to Melbourne, and fortunately, the guy, he was very similar age to me, you meet him, and like my girlfriend friends met him, and she says, "Wow, I thought there was no one else like you, Dave, but there's another person out there like you." I because of that, I went on and still did my little press release and got the attention on, the Today Show, and got lots of media coverage, Herald Sun and Nova and all that type of stuff. I was lucky though, because it was very, very similar, that we were both the same. And this arch rival of mine has now become a very good friend. His name's Pete Williams, and he also sold the MCG. He's the other guy who sold the MCG. And the reason I tell you that story is for a few reasons, I suppose. I wanted to tell you that story because I don't tell a story unless I'm going to make a point. And if I'm going to make a point, I might as well tell a story. So the point of that story is, if you come up with a good idea and you're sitting on it and you don't take advantage of it right now, you better be careful, because Pete Williams is going to take it from you. So just make sure, you act on any good ideas you've got, because someone else has got the same idea and they might beat you to the punch. If you want to find out more about me, you can head over to davidjenyns.com, and I'll hand it back to
Hey, thank you
Jenyns.
very much, Dave.
Thank you.